Have you ever felt like your brain just doesn't have an off switch? An unanswered text sends you down a rabbit hole of a dozen different scenarios. Someone's tone changes ever so slightly, and your gut immediately tells you something is wrong. A conversation ended hours ago, but it's still playing on a loop in your head. You replay every word, every look, every silence, wondering what you missed. The thing is, people who experience this aren't weak. In fact, they are often the most perceptive, deeply empathetic people you'll ever meet. But they are also the ones most prone to emotional burnout. While others can easily shake things up and move on, they get trapped in a non-stop cycle of overthinking, as if their minds are constantly working overtime, day and night. So what actually happens when someone sees too much, understands too much, and feels too much? Why does the very ability that helps them understand the world end up quietly robbing them of their peace of mind? Sometimes, the most exhausting thing isn't the pressure of the world outside, but the life happening inside your own head. People always say, just stop overthinking. It sounds so simple. But for someone wired this way, that advice is like telling a wide-awake person to just fall asleep instantly. They don't choose to overthink. Their brains just seem programmed to constantly search for meaning and predict what's coming next. From the standpoint of modern psychology, this isn't a personal flaw. Scientific research shows that the human brain evolved to spot danger in order to keep us alive. For thousands of years, our ancestors survived not because they were the first to see an opportunity, but because they spotted threats faster than anyone else. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. Simply put, our brains are hardwired to notice and react to potential threats much more intensely than things that are going well. But for highly perceptive people, this survival mechanism goes into overdrive. When there isn't enough clear information, the mind hates the uncertainty and automatically spins hypothetical scenarios to fill in the blanks. Unfortunately, due to that negativity bias, those stories usually lean toward worst-case scenarios. The anxiety and distress don't come from the actual event, but from how you interpret it. The brain genuinely believes that if it analyzes a situation deeply enough, it can prevent future pain. But the hard truth is, no amount of preparation can stop every heartache. The biggest prison we face is often the stories we repeat to ourselves every single day, without even realizing it. Developmental psychology shows that how we view the world is heavily shaped by our early childhood experiences. If a child grows up in a high-stress or unpredictable environment, paying hyper attention to the smallest cues becomes a survival mechanism. This is known as hypervigilance. As adults, they continue to unconsciously scan their surroundings for threats, except now, it looks like decoding a text from a coworker or analyzing a partner's facial expression. The brain's alarm system is built to react quickly rather than accurately. When your mind enters survival mode, every risk feels imminent. That's why highly perceptive people often feel completely drained even when they're just sitting on the couch. On the inside, their brain is running at full capacity, building contingency plans for things that may never happen. What helped us survive in the past doesn't always help us live happily in the present. The paradox is that you spend so much time observing life that you feel like you aren't actually living it. Psychologists refer to this mental drifting as mind wandering. When healthy reflection crosses the line into rumination, the brain stops problem solving and just runs in circles with self-blaming questions. Studies prove prolonged rumination significantly increases the risk of anxiety and depression. Thinking more doesn't mean understanding more. It often just keeps you stuck in the mud longer. People who report high life satisfaction aren't less intelligent. They just have the psychological flexibility to shift their attention back to the present moment. Life only happens in the here and now. The more you live in your head, the more you miss out on real life. Deep perception and empathy are beautiful traits, but they become a heavy burden when you unconsciously absorb everyone else's negative energy or lock yourself in a cage of fear over a future that hasn't happened yet. Absolute certainty doesn't exist, and no one is immune to getting hurt. The moment we stop trying to control everything, we suddenly find our freedom. Learning to differentiate between what is in our control and what isn't is the core principle of modern therapies like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. Focus your limited energy on your own choices, not on managing the uncertainty of the world. True maturity isn't about seeing more complexity. It's about learning to carry less. It means carrying fewer assumptions, less fear of the future, and less responsibility for things that aren't yours to fix. Perception helps you see more, but wisdom tells you what to hold on to and what to let go. Being a deep feeler isn't a flaw, it's a gift, as long as you build healthy emotional boundaries. If you feel exhausted today, give your brain permission to take a break from trying to figure everything out. Peace comes when you accept that some questions don't need an immediate answer. Thank you for watching until the very end. If this resonated with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Wishing you peace of mind, and I'll see you in the next video.